How to travel to Alberta. This is the 7-day itinerary me and my friends followed. No time wasted. Let's get straight into it. Pre-trip. For this specific itinerary, I recommend booking a flight to Calgary instead of Edmonton. Rent a car from downtown Calgary instead of the airport to save quite a bit of money. I recommend using Thrifty or Hertz on 5th Avenue. It's about a 15-minute Uber drive from the airport. And I also recommend getting an Airbnb in Canmore. It's only 10 minutes from Banff. A lot of locals I spoke to said they preferred over Banff. It's cheaper, it's less packed, and it's just as beautiful. Day 1. Welcome to Alberta. This day is fairly calm. After we got our car, we thought since we're already here in Calgary, we might as well do something, right? So we visited the famous Peace Bridge right by Prince Island Park. We got some ice cream, and then we decided to drive over to our Airbnb in Canmore, take the day to get unpacked, get settled in, get familiar with the area, and get ready for a big day tomorrow. Day 2. This day is packed. You'll definitely feel tired after this. This is why I put it early on, because early on you should be full of energy and you should be super excited. So anyways, first thing in the morning we hit the road straight to Moraine Lake, a tiny lake with amazing color that is fed by all the glaciers surrounding it. There's lots of amazing spots for photos, it's not too much hiking at all, and this was a pretty quick stop. Next we drove back towards where we came from to Alberta's most famous spot, Lake Louise. I'm sure this place doesn't need much of an explanation at all. Everyone's seen the cliche photos that come out of this place, it's totally a must. Me and one of my closest friends decided to take a polar plunge here. The cold was a crazy shock to our system, it felt amazing. Next, the long hike to the Little Beehive, the most amazing lookout I have ever been to by far. Have good shoes ready because this is a 10-kilometer round trip hike with a 550 meter elevation gains, so just be prepared. The trailhead is called Lake Agnes Trail. The great part is you don't have to leave Lake Louise at all to get here. You can use the app or website called All Trails to know where to go. Or just ask around, that's what we did a lot of the time. It's really useful, so you could do that as well. About halfway up to the lookout, you could stop and rest and even buy lunch at the Lake Agnes Tea House. I loved it here. I had an amazing smoked salmon sandwich with an authentic tea on a mountainside cabin with incredible views. This was really all I needed to refuel me so I could actually finish this hike. It was just amazing. Then we made it to the Little Beehive lookout. This blew me away. There's honestly nothing like it. No photo or video that I show you will ever do this spot justice. After that, walk all the way back down. The walk down's always a little bit easier. Go relax for the rest of the day because I know you'll be tired. We were super tired. It's a long day of hiking and just get ready for the next day. Day 3. Today is all about filling in the day with minor hikes and activities as we wait for the 4:30 gondola ride to the Sulphur Mountain Observatory. Buy your tickets in advance. Anyways, first up we hit a low-key spot called the Silverton Falls. We literally dealt with no competition from other tourists and it was amazing for such a short hike. We were going into the next spot only after 20 to 30 minutes of checking the spot out. After we did the Tunnel Mountain hike. Again, all these can be found on All Trails. This hike was great because it was right in the middle of Banff's town. It was super close to the gondola that we had to make at 4:30 and it had multiple amazing spots for photos. Prepare for a short but steep hike. After this, we had some time to spare before we had to hit up the gondola at 4:30. So we decided to explore downtown Banff. We hit up some gift shops and we got some lunch. And then we headed on over to the highly anticipated activity that we had tickets for at 4:30. The Banff Gondola to Sulphur Mountains Observatory. This spot had great mountain panoramics. Literally from anywhere on the catwalk. We saw mountain goats up here and took some ridiculous photos such as these. This was amazing and it was roughly $50 a person and it was worth every penny for sure. Day 4. Today we decided to explore the downtown strip of Canmore. Canmore is the place that we got our Airbnb. Gave off the exact same feel of Banff's downtown, except there was way less tourists, so we had no problem finding a patio to sit at and enjoy a meal. I also recommend checking out the really cool vintage clothing stores and gift shops that they have. After that, we drove down towards Kananaskis County. The scenery is just different here. Our group loved the deep valleys between mountains and the curved roads. It was different than it was by Banff, and we didn't really understand the hype until we actually took the drive ourselves. You'll also see this really cool old abandoned house on the side of the highway that was converted into this graffiti-filled skate park. It's a really cool quick stop, totally optional of course, but I recommend. Then we explored Upper Kananaskis Lake and Trail. The forest here had a really eerie vibe. The weather we got added to it, of course. It felt a little more adventurous than any of the other things that we have done up to this point, and it was really worth the unique sights for sure. We saw 2 bears, one of which was a grizzly, so be sure to bring bear mace with you as this is prime bear territory. Day 5. We wanted to see all the hype about this famous road that connects Banff and Jasper. It's called the Icefields Parkway. It's considered one of the most beautiful drives in the world. And even though we weren't driving the entire 3 hours towards Jasper, because Jasper deserves a week by itself, there are countless of stops to quickly explore that are literally steps off the highway. It's honestly unreal. I recommend Bow Lake and Pado Lake. Drive further if you want, but we decided to turn around after these spots and head back home and relax. Day 6. Canmore has a super famous and fun mountainside hike with caves and man-made steps scaling down a mountain. It's the trail that leads to grassy lakes. Once we got down to these tiny blue water lakes, it felt really peaceful and calm here. So we decided not to do a polar plunge here because of that. The water was so blue, it was so clear, and it was so great for photos, and the hike was really unique and unlike any of the others, so it made it incredibly worth it. We still managed to get the polar plunge in, just decided to do it a bit away from the main area. Afterwards, we wanted to enjoy our last night, so we went back and enjoyed our beautiful Airbnb for our final night, and we partied with some Australians that we met that were staying just a couple doors down from us. Day 7. Leaving this place is going to be really hard. Being surrounded by this type of scenery and having literally limitless options for an amazing adventure is truly the best way to travel, in my opinion. I 100% want to come back to this place as there is so much more to explore, but anyways, I'm grateful I was finally able to experience it, and I hope this itinerary is somewhat helpful for anyone that is trying to plan a perfect trip to visit Alberta. Check out the cinematic travel video that I have made for this trip by pressing on the pop-up that comes up right now, and thank you for watching. Cheers.